Okay. Not a good situation for the Edmonton Oilers when it comes to Jesse Puljujarvi, right? That's where we currently sit, is things have come to a boiling point, but there's issues that have to be solved before the Oilers can think about trading a $3 million regular NHL lineup body up front out of town. And I mean, obviously, too, when it comes down to it, you'll be lucky to get a low round draft pick for Jesse Puljujarvi at current, is the question of what happens with the NHL lineup after Jesse Puljujarvi is gone, and that is, of course, why the Oilers have an issue at current. This is Dolynny TV, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel, and good afternoon if you're just joining in here right as soon as this video is posted. If not, happy Sunday evening. Hope you have a great one. We're still waiting for the Oilers to get back to action here against Minnesota right away, but yeah, it's one of those situations for the Oilers where you're a little damned if you do, damned if you don't, and I'll explain more on that in a moment's time. But if you're new to the channel too, what I want you to do, I'm currently just absolutely blitzing towards 10,000 subscribers. Unfortunately, I can't hit that without you hitting that subscribe button if you're new. So if you'd be so kind to consider doing that throughout this next 5-10 minutes, whatever it takes me to do this video, that would be greatly appreciated. And if you enjoyed today's topic, discussion, and chat about Jesse Puljujarvi, let me know by leaving a like on the video as well. Leaving likes on videos, actually, if you know anything about YouTube, kind of helps push it out to more people who want to see it like you. So, alright, Jesse Puljujarvi, NHL bodies, regular bodies in the lineup. The Oilers are still missing Kane, McLeod, and Foegele. They've just gotten Kyler Yamamoto back, and it's potential that he may miss the game against Minnesota here coming up after taking that slide into the boards head first. Of course, that's me being a conspiracy theorist on that front, just simply because of the way this Oilers season has gone so far. So for the Oilers, as it currently stands when it comes down to it, is you can't afford to give up a regular top 9 body in Jesse Puljujarvi for nothing right now. And what we've talked about for the Oilers with Jesse Puljujarvi is, simply put, you are not going to get a regular contributing NHL body to the lineup in his place. You could probably get a guy that is a regular NHL body, but in terms of contributing, that is, of course, the question, right? For the Oilers, if you're getting a body back, you're probably contract for contract, which is going to be the exact same situation as Ryan Strome for Ryan Spooner. And unfortunately, the Oilers will lose that kind of trade 10 times out of 10. So let's not and say we did. All right, that's where we'll go with that one. But for the Oilers now, is I see Patrick and a couple other folks have put out the theory on Eli Tolvanen of the Nashville Predators, who's on waivers today. That in itself could be a solution in which you put him in the lineup, then you can trade Puljujarvi and you kind of niftily tidy up the mess, and that could be one of those situations where it gets the job done. But for the short term, realistically speaking, until the Oilers get Foegele and McLeod and, of course, long-term Kane back, you're not going to see Jesse Puljujarvi just shipped away for nothing, because he is valuable to the NHL lineup, even when not scoring, enough so that he's better than having a Devon Shore on the third line. He's better than having a Devon Shore in the top 6, right? There's a little bit more to Jesse Puljujarvi's game, obviously because he's a right-handed player, and two, that he's that big 6'4" body that you like to have in your lineup too. So there's a couple of things the Oilers really need to do with Jesse Puljujarvi still here in the immediate term, just in terms of keeping him in the lineup to serve some purposes. But you get those guys back, and suddenly, yes, he becomes a little bit more expendable, right? Klim Kostin's come in and absolutely been dynamite for us here over the last 5 games. You love to see it. It's a huge gift for the Oilers, and suddenly, yeah, you can add him to the lineup and not be losing as much as you would when you put Devon Shore in. So, okay, great, you're gold. Well, here we go. You go in there and think about this here with James Hamblin. Well, James Hamblin, he's come in and outworked Tyler Benson for a lineup spot. That's a legit thing that's happened. James Hamblin outworked Tyler Benson for a lineup spot, and Tyler Benson's back in the AHL because of it. So you think about that there is, okay, well, James Hamblin's an upgrade on Tyler Benson, so you kind of do the roster math on this team and you add in 2 or 3 more players to this roster, whether you want to talk about picking up Tolvanen on waivers or just simply getting McLeod and Fogle back, is those two players change this lineup tremendously for the Oilers. Right now, things are looking really good up there in that top six, but you talk about getting Fogle back up there, you take out Janmark, now you've got Fogle, Nuge, and Yamamoto. Janmark moves down, you probably take out Devon Shore, of course you could take out a ton of other players in that combination as well, but Costin stays where he is. Holloway probably is the odd man out once McLeod returns, and suddenly you start seeing this lineup evolve a little bit more. But it's one of those things for the Oilers where it would be really nice to see the guys return before you move Jesse Puljujarvi, and that's kind of the sense from all the Oilers insiders, all the people within the hockey community, right? Elliotte Friedman on 32 Thoughts on Sportsnet's Hockey Night in Canada last night simply put it bluntly. Until the bodies return for the Oilers, they are not going to be moving from Jesse Puljujarvi simply because of needing healthy bodies in the lineup that are capable of producing at the NHL, right? There's a difference for Jesse Puljujarvi here because it's not like he's never scored in the NHL before. He's having a bad year this year, but it's not like he hasn't done it before. So when you've got a guy like that, as opposed to saying, well, Devon Shore, who's a guy who career averaged like 10 points per season, yeah, that's a guy you want in your lineup every night in the top 9 as opposed to Jesse Puljujarvi. That, my friends, is not correct. And I don't mean to hate on Devon Shore, but Devon Shore is a role player. Devon Shore is a fourth line player. And obviously when it comes to the depth of the Oilers lineup, you are not going to convince me that you'd be more comfortable having Devon Shore playing 12 to 15 minutes a night than you would Jesse Puljujarvi playing 11 to 14. And that's where for Jesse Puljujarvi, it's one of those things of, you know what, he's not getting much power play time. He obviously doesn't do penalty kill time. So when you factor in that he's playing just above a sixth of the game at even strength, that's a pretty big get for a guy that apparently doesn't have the confidence of the coaches from an outside perspective. But realistically too, right, when you think all your minutes are 5-on-5 and then the Oilers go to the power play 4 times in a game, they are shorthanded 3 or 4 times in a game, you're eating up about, 16 minutes of the game at special teams, so you subtract that out. Yes, Puljujarvi is playing a quarter of the game at 5-on-5 at that rate, so there's a little bit there where he's a guy that eats a lot of minutes for us in scenarios where we just need to keep the tempo going, and yes, Puljujarvi is the guy who does that. I really like this new third line they've got going with Holloway, Hamblin, and Puljujarvi, who have been really effective in terms of just generating pushback, right? And it's not like they're going out there hitting, fighting. No, that's not what I mean. Or sorry, is Costin? I think Costin might be on that. Yeah, no, Costin's on the fourth line. But right, they're going out there pushing forward, pushing the puck deep. They get off the ice. What happened last game? The first goal of the game scored by the fourth line because of the third line going to work in the offensive zone. So there's a little bit to really like about what Jesse Puljujarvi still adds to the lineup, despite not adding anything to the lineup of substance right now in terms of points and realistic production. But that's where, right, you suddenly get a guy like Ryan McLeod who puts a couple more points in the lineup. You get a guy like Warren Fogle who puts a couple points back in the lineup. Suddenly, yes, you're able to move on from Jesse Puljujarvi. You get somebody else out there on that role, and away you go. You're not hurting near as bad for roster players that are capable of producing results. And that's where the Oilers find themselves. Is Puljujarvi's the best option out of the worst options on the team, if you want to put it that way, for the Oilers right now, and they need to make sure they have him in the lineup until they can make a decision on moving on somewhere else. Folks, I'm Tyson, this is Dolynny TV. I was up till 3:30 last night driving friends home, so it's been a long, rough day of napping and not feeling the greatest. So we'll talk to you tomorrow and we'll get things going. I am up on out of here.